Catching a big price move is one of the more difficult trading disciplines to master, but it happens every day and sometimes on multiple runners per race. So this upload shows me trading a drifter that netted almost 20% of my total stake. We've added several Betfair trading videos this week, including one about trading indicators, but the reasons for this trade were very different. So follow along and see what happens while I explain this trade. There's additional resources linked in the description down below if you're interested. So we're 8 minutes or so from the start here at the 2:10 haydock, and that's a lot earlier than I would normally get involved in a marketplace. The only time I get involved in a marketplace a little bit earlier is when I think that there's potentially a longer term move or a longer term play to be had here, which I'll explain. I was a little bit slow to hit the record button because I didn't expect it to evolve like this quite so quickly. But the third favourite, we've laid it. You can see from the profit and loss column there that we've got an open position. It was a couple of ticks away from when we've entered, and I've offset a bit of my position already. Now the reason that I laid that was because the price pinged in a little. You can see on the Betfair chart along the bottom there, the price pinged in, and I was already thinking that it was potentially one to get involved on the lay side. So why did I think that? Well, looking at the overall market, right, is really important because all the runners are proportionate to each other. You know, when something goes down, something else has to go up. They are sort of like the sum calculation of the overround. But basically, there's a couple of runners within this race where it appears as though there's going to be some supporting volume for them. They may be backed further. They're already showing signs of having a little bit of money back in them. It is a relatively thin market, so there's more likely to be movement. But this is the odd one out. This is the weak one. So rather than try and find which horse is going to be the steamer, because there could be several of, it's just easy to find which one's the drifter, the weak one, because there's less drifters than there is potential steamers in this race. So let's have a look at those Betfair charts along the bottom to explain that and qualify what I'm saying there. First of all, you've got the favourite, okay? It's taken a little bit of money. You can see from the Betfair chart, the interesting section of the chart being the right-hand side of the chart. Obviously, there's no time axis on them, but money has come in for that, and that's relatively solid at its price, which is also shown via the traded volume bars on the right-hand side of the column. If we move on to the second runner, from the morning to the last 30 minutes or so, the price has drifted out. However, once it's reached a certain point, it seems to have stabilised, and it appears that there's a little bit more money flowing in just inside the last 30 minutes or so. If we come on to the third, it's been a little bit weak this morning. It's bounced around. There's more money being matched now, and it's still continually looking weak. Okay. And then if we look at the fourth, Finch River, you can see that although it early prices, low amounts matched, it spiked out a little bit. It's been consistently coming in gradually since then too. It's also had a little bit of money. So we've got, from the top 4 runners that were shown on the screen here, 3 of them are showing signs of having some money coming in. 1 of them is weak. So we'll go with the easy one. We don't want competition on our trade. We want it to be uncompetitive and nice and clear for us. So I laid there, I've offset slightly on the position. There's only 59 quid matched. At this point in time, I don't want to add to it with a lay because I'm not confident enough and the market is not liquid enough and there's not enough money in the market to be doing this comfortably. So I'm just holding on and I'm letting it play out. There's no reason to close out from this. It may come in a few ticks. I can change my mind. The whole market may flip, which does happen inside the live shows quite consistently, to be honest. So I'm just not putting myself in a position of risk. I'm managing the downside and I'm seeing where the opportunity comes. Now you'll see I'm looking at the other runners on the outside there on the 4th column. East Street, that's bounced around a little. That's taken a little bit more volume. Obviously we're coming into the live shows now, but there's not really a direction with that either way. I think also East Street was probably a horse that I had labelled to line up at the front at the start. So we'll let this play out. I'll speed up the recording just now, just to bring it to the point where there's a little bit of action. But you can see we've reached a point of confirming signals once more. So I've added to my lay on the third there. I'm not even going to try and say the horse's name. As it passes through the 6.0, which is obviously a preferable point, highlighting the volume over on the favourite there. So what's happened here, quite clearly, is money's coming on the favourite, liquidity's picked up, previous race is finished, attention's come to this race, prices started to move. It's confirming, or it appears to be confirming so far, that this horse is going to continue drifting. So I may offset that position in just a second, but at this point in time, everything that I've previously thought is just being reinforced. I'm quite happy that it's near the 6.0, because if it gets through the 6.0, we obviously get more value per tick for our bottom line profit than if it was going in the alternate direction. So I'm just willing that to sort of go through right now. More money flows in, obviously 3 minutes from the start. I've still got plenty of time. This has been open a considerable amount of time. I'm not worried about it, but I'm not crazy confident about it either. What I'm doing is I'm allowing my profits to run, and see the finger hovering over the hedge there. If things go Pete's Hong, then I'll be out of that quite quickly, limiting my risk. The whole time just monitoring the different runners, because again they are, they're in sync with each other. They are balanced within the marketplace. So I can see also here the horse that was previously backed, Finsk River, has drifted back out. So maybe that was over supported for its point in time within the marketplace, which was a bit unfortunate, because I'd like the drift to be on this one rather than the Finsk River. But I'm playing the waiting game, and this is where a lot of the time it comes down to mindset and perception, because it was almost tempting to close out previous there, and you can see it's just pinged up, gone through the 6, and now hopefully it's going to become stable there and just push that little bit further to give itself more profits. This is quite a small move, but most of the marketplace and the other runners that are being supported within the marketplace are against this that's in the second column, which is drifting. So that's exactly what we want to see. The next question is, when do I exit? Because obviously we're getting close to the start. Horses are going to be lining up in just a second. I don't want to be greedy, but I do want to get the best possible exit I can. And you can see over on the 4th column now, that horse is being supported. So we've got several being supported, which is what is coaxing this drift in the direction that we want to see on our particular trade. It's just taking time to play out, which is a mental battle that people have to get used to themselves, because you have to get yourself in this position where you're quite comfortable to let things play out. They don't happen when you want them to happen. They happen when the market wants it to happen, and that can be very testing on the old mind. So this is pushing out, and now it's a case of scaling out our position, getting as much profit as we possibly can. It's playing with us a little bit, it's flitting back and forth, but we're remaining strong because the overall decision's good here. It's just a shame really that Finsk River, being previously supported, has pinged out so much, because that's taken the sting out of this drift for us, and it's left us on edge a little bit. Otherwise I could have seen this going up north of 8.0, which would have made for a really, really nice trade. So I'm going to speed up the recording a little bit, save you just watching the flashing numbers. But horses are coming down to the start of the race. You can see this in quicker time now, and the trade's starting to get filled. We're going to get our position matched. But the real key to this particular trade and trading drifters is finding multiple reasons for other horses within the race which are going to oppose the horse's price that we're trading, in order to give ourselves the benefit, the whole 2 down 1 up kind of scenario. So there's the final position shared on the Betfair screen for you there, just so you can see the trades, the overall positions. Obviously we went in for 50, out for 50 several times, but that is the overall net position. That's the profit, and that's how we got in that situation. Finding a drifter or getting a swinging price is great, but if you aren't consistent, race after race, you'll drive yourself nuts. Now, this video here shows you how to solve the consistency problem. It's so obvious, you'll kick yourself after watching, although it will help you massively improve your bottom line results. Also, there's a new video about trading indicators here. Check it out.